Cold reading. The mystical art of knowing everything about someone without actually knowing them at all. Hello everyone, my name is Chase and I am a mentalist magician. And in today's video, I'm going to be telling you how I perfected my cold reading skills, give you tips and tricks on how you can start doing it right away, all wrapped up in some humble bragging and self-deprecation. Aren't you in for a treat? So, like many children, I was surrounded by magic with getting things for Christmas and birthdays, you know, like the things you get in crackers, like the little cutty ropey thing, or those really miniature decks of cards, or some like cheap tricks that you can learn, and like a disappearing coin, and your self-respect. You know those ones. Believe it or not, I actually grew out of magic, even though I'm sitting here talking about magic. You know, most people assume that I stayed in my bedroom wearing a top hat and performing to all of my teddy bears, which is partly true. So gang, was one of your cards the Nine of Spades? No? Any of you? Okay. But anyway, I really wanted to become an actor, so I did shows, I got extra roles, I performed in theatres, I went to theatre school, you know. I really wanted to become an actor, and I got really invested in the psychology of acting. And what do I mean by the psychology of acting? Well, I mean that I used to watch videos of how people reacted in certain situations, and then I could apply them to my own acting abilities. And then it kind of faded away from watching how people would react in situations on a screen, and I'd go out to a park bench and just watch people walk past and try to read them, guess what their jobs were, what they were doing during the day. I'd never go up to them. I just used to sit there and just make decisions on what they were doing with their lives. Then one day I was sitting on a park bench, kind of just playing around, people watching, as creepy as it sounds, and I was telling them about their, you know, this person walked past and I was like, they've got a day off work, this is their job, blah blah blah. And my mates were just like, Chase, you're actually really good at this. How do you know if you're actually true, like what you're saying is true or not? And I said, well, I don't know. And they said, just go up to one of them and do it. So I did. And I got it scarily correct. And my mates didn't believe me, and I said, okay, let's do it again. So I did it again, and again I got it very close. And I did this for the rest of the day, which really impressed my friends. I won't, you know, brag, but I didn't get them all right. I would say I did it about 10 times. I got at least 8 out of the 10 correct, which is still a pretty phenomenal feat, if I do say so myself. And that's kind of where the mentalism bug hit me, like a mind-reading radioactive spider, only less webs. And then I realised that you can kind of fake it, that there's methods out there such as peaks and devices and things like cold reading that you can just kind of cheat, and you don't have to have real psychological knowledge like what I've practiced doing in my acting. You can kind of fake it. And that's really when I went down the rabbit hole, no pun intended, into mind reading and mentalism. So, what is cold reading really? Well, it's kind of like being a human Google, just without the Wi-Fi. That's the best way to put it. You're making someone believe that you know everything about them just by using clues that they don't know that they're giving you and they're showing you, just with what they're wearing or how they're sitting or their micro expressions. And here's a few practical tools you can use right now. Before you even say a word, just watch. See what they're wearing. Have they got polished shoes? Have they got a tan line where a wedding ring should be? What does that mean? Have they got gym bags? Are they carrying a Greg's sausage roll? You know, these things tell you something. Barnum statements are those vague vague statements that relate to literally everyone, and I'm sure you've heard of them somewhere in your life. You're actually really, sorry, if you don't mind me saying, you're actually really hard on yourself, aren't you? And people don't really notice how much pressure you do put on yourself, which is admirable, really, because you cover it up really well. It's only because I know how to read people, and you're not showing how much pressure you do put on yourself. Really, for someone like me who reads between the lines, I can tell how much pressure you really do put on yourself, which is quite commendable. And you shouldn't really put that much pressure on yourself, because you only live once, as cheesy as it sounds. Everything happens for a reason, so you shouldn't put that much pressure on yourself. You shouldn't be that hard on yourself. 90% of people watching this, that will work. That was all acting. That was just a statement. Sometimes it's not about what you say, but it's how you say it. You can very easily distract the conscious mind with a question, a prop, or a joke, which is possibly my favourite. And then whilst they're reacting to that question, whilst they're thinking about that question, or they're looking at a prop, or they're laughing at the joke, you can get a sneak of a peek you've just done. It's things like that that really sell it and covers up your fake mind reading. Creating a narrative is quite important. You don't just want to shove facts at people. So if they wrote down that their favourite colour is red, you don't want to just go, your favourite colour is red. You kind of want to build a story. You want to create a narrative, because humans absolutely love stories. And at the end of the day, they know, well, you'd hope that you're gonna get it right at the very end. So the longer you drag it out, at the end of the day, you've already got that peak, or you already know what job they've got, or whatever it is. Drag it out. It's really as simple as that. Like I said, humans love stories, especially if it's about themselves. So if you figure out what job they've got, and you can kind of read how they got into that job, then they're literally sitting there while you're telling them the story of their life. And even if you get some things wrong, which, you can cover up quite well if you really go down the whole of cold reading and magic, or mind reading, people just love it. They love being told something that, one, you shouldn't know, and two, it's about them. Now, if you're interested in learning the real psychology behind mentalism, not just surface level tricks like this one, I'm actually writing a book all about mentalism and the psychology into it. And it's called The Mentalist's Playbook. It's packed with theory, real life examples, and how you can apply real psychology into your mind reading and mentalism routines. If that sounds like something you're interested in, on the Chased membership, which is my membership, I'm going to be doing a video separate all about what I'm going to be adding into the Mentalist's Playbook. But if you want to keep it all a secret and wait till it comes out, it will be out very, very soon on my website, along with other products such as Colour Feel, which is a tool which helps you cold read, and Subconscious Spiking, which is all about psychology in mentalism and how you can use real psychology in actual tricks. All those products will be in the link in the description below. Now, here is your final golden nugget of information. You don't have to be right 100% of the time. As long as you're confident and a little bit mysterious, you'll go far. And that's the real secret to mind reading, cold reading, mentalism itself. It's not the secret, it's not the method, it's the performance. And that only comes with time and practice and actually going out there and performing. If you start getting things wrong when you're going out there to cold read and you're completely crashing, like I said, I performed that time 10 times and I got 8 out of the 10 correct. So that means I got 2 wrong. But then with what I know now and I went to do it, if I was starting to go wrong, I would rely on peaks or devices or apps or, you know, literally anything. And I do the classic, okay, you're quite hard to read, but I think you'd be perfect for this next one or this next thing. Or you're quite hard to read, can you do me a favour? Can you draw any image on this piece of paper for me? You know, moves on to an next trick quite quickly and easily. Another line I love to say is that if I get something completely wrong, I usually just say, interested, and that tells me everything I need to know about you. And then I move on to the next trick. So there's two statements you can use right there. Wonderful, that tells me everything I need to know about you, or you're actually really hard to read. So what I want to do is try something different. They're two easy to go to things when you start getting things wrong. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it so I know to make more videos just like this one, and check out some other videos that are on this channel, because again, it's basically just a psychology, mentalism, mind reading, magic channel. That's what my channel is, actually. Yeah, come to think of it, it's what I sell myself as. So yeah, while you're there, subscribe. Thank you very much. Highly appreciated. See more of this face. You're welcome. Thank you all so much for watching. Now go out there and pretend to read minds like a pro. See you soon.